Okay. NAB. This was my first time at NAB and my first time in Las Vegas. The first day was a blur. Early morning flight. The time difference made it to where I got in early as well. From the airport, I went straight to the convention. Getting to the convention, it was really easy to know that I made it to the right place because everything was plastered with these giant Black Magic sponsored window coverings just to show off their new cameras and things. At least it was easy to tell I was in the right place. I was extremely excited to walk through the initial doors, and when I did, I was like, wow, okay, this place is huge. I looked around, tried to take in everything that I could and understand where I needed to go and get my badge, because, you know, you kind of need one to walk around the entire venue. So yeah, once I got my badge, I happily put it on. Super exciting for me. I was like, wow, I feel so official. This is the first time having like a badge to get into a place and actually enjoy it. After I got excited, I made sure to take out my camera so that I could start recording because the very first booth that I saw was Black Magic Design. Now, personally, that has to be one of my favorite bands at the moment. I film on one of their cameras and I edit in their software as well for my personal things. It was really fun to go to that booth and learn about all their new releases for cameras, for their software, and actually talk to professionals in the industry to kind of learn more about how it actually works and also their own personal workflows. Now, my first stop was going to be LucidLink because thankfully they put on a video challenge that ended up being the reason why I was able to take this trip. You know, cue the video right here. Time. The only finite resource that everyone gets to experience. It has more value than anything, yet is the number one thing that is taken for granted. 72 years is the average lifespan. That's only 864 months. With 30 days in a month or 4 weeks the same, we experience day by day as we live day to day. Every hour, every minute, forgotten in a second. How will you spend your time? That video right there won me this trip to NAB. So of course, I wanted to stop by this booth to kind of meet everybody on the team. Every single person that I met on the LucidLink team, absolutely incredible. I felt like family. It was very welcoming. Truly wish it didn't end. It was such a great time. But after spending about an hour, or more possibly, at the Black Magic Design booth, I made my way past Adobe and over to LucidLink. And this booth was awesome. They had a really cool interactive art piece that was also attached to their software, so that way you can see how fast it actually works in real time. Very, very good design. And this is kind of where I made my first impressions on everybody. So I didn't expect this. The idea kind of came to me when I was asked to do the interactive wall art, and I stepped up onto their little circle where the wall can record you the best. After I was waving my arms around a little bit trying to figure out how it exactly worked, I decided, I was like, I want to do a backflip. So off goes the bag, off goes the badge, look around to see if it's all clear, and just popped a quick little backflip. Yeah, needless to say, nobody really knew I could do that. I was very quickly known throughout LucidLink as the backflip guy. I came to find that out after, hours of wandering around the rest of the South Hall. After I did this backflip, I met a little bit more of the team and kind of just waited around a little bit just to really get acquainted with the booth, kind of get a gauge and grab my bearings again of where I am, since at this point, I believe it was like 11 o'clock in the morning, Las Vegas time. So it had already been a very busy day. Once I got settled in, I decided to go walk around the rest of the South Hall. So I made my way through the South Hall, got stopped on so many different booths of so many manufacturers between lights, storage devices, cameras, lenses. It was incredible. I was in heaven, like camera nerd heaven. It was amazing. I got to also meet up with people that I've worked with on the YouTube channel that have sponsored some of my videos, And that was probably one of my favorite parts, is meeting those people face to face and actually making that in-person connection. Honestly, it's life-changing. It's really awesome to put a face to, you know, a name behind a screen. After meeting all these people and finishing the South Hall, which was very long, by the way, I made my way to the front where I entered and where the LucidLink booth was, just to kind of say hi to the people again. And this is where I met the rest of the speakers. Brian with Versus, really awesome guy, super busy, super professional. I wish I got to chat with him more. Kelsey, who is Premier Gal on YouTube, incredible person, super cool to hang out with, and spent honestly most of NAB with her and Rickard, which is one of her colleagues who just moved out to LA. Everyone had such an amazing air to them. Everyone was so collaborative, really happy to nerd out and talk about all things video and broadcast. It was almost like a second home to me. I felt like I knew these people even though I never met them before. After I said my hellos and got to meet these people, we ended up going to the North Hall, which is where the majority of the companies that I wanted to see were. For instance, Canon, Sony, Osmo, which is DJI, Blazar, DZO Film, Ari, you name it. It's there, basically. The grandeur of the entire place is just so overwhelming in the best way possible. You feel like a kid in a candy store. I had about, I don't even remember how many booths that I had circled on the screenshots that I took of the map. I was like, want to go here, want to go here, want to go here, and I tried to make a little route and kind of understand the layout of the entire place to make sure that I hit every single company that I really wanted to hit. But of course, along the way, you get distracted with other things that maybe you didn't even know about. There's tons of new released products, tons of new companies I never heard about, tons of really, really smart professionals that are just hanging around at the booths, ready to teach and talk. The conversations were so fun. It's really cool to be able to talk, and it's almost like its own language. After making it through, I don't know, maybe like 10 or 12 booths, we decided to stop for lunch at the little concessions that were also there in the convention center. When we stopped for lunch, this is when it kind of finally hit me that I was like, wow, I am in Vegas right now. And it feels like it was 2 days built into one, probably because of the, you know, like early morning. Really, I do mean early morning flight. I believe it was like 5 a.m., 7 a.m., I think. Either way, it was early. I had to get there early. Plus, all the walking around, you just feel like you're in a different place. I mean, obviously you are, but, you know, it doesn't feel real. Thankfully, the rest of this first day was just being able to go and ogle over all of these companies that I not only own their products, but also aspire to own their products and look up to and have done tons of research on products and services that are offered from all of these companies. It's incredible to actually see them in person, see the new releases. It's almost like a behind the scenes look into the world that you know so much about. It was kind of funny too when we were walking around. We stayed together as a little group of like Kelsey, Rickard, and I had mapped out the whole place. So at some points I just felt like I was dragging them around. I was like, "Ooh, let's go this way. Ooh, let's go this way. Yeah, come on, let's go check this out. Let's go this way." It was really fun to pick their brains about this whole YouTube space, as well as editing and talking over some nerdy camera talk as well. It was great. I was really, really grateful that I got to bond with those guys and that they allowed me to basically drag them around and hang out the entire time, kind of hijack their NAB in a way. Towards the end of the day, we made our way back to the LucidLink booth to hang out for a little bit before we went over to the West Hall for a quick little happy hour and off to dinner with some of the other members of the LucidLink team. Now, dinner, we went to RPM, which is an Italian place. That was phenomenal. Hands down, some of the best food I've had in a very long time. Then we got back, I think, around 1 a.m. to then go to sleep and wake up to do the panel the next day. Day 2, waking up was surprisingly easy. I woke up at like 7 a.m. I don't know how. And kind of try and gather my thoughts on what the first day was like. And as I was doing that, I realized, wow, this is insane. I'm exhausted. I've walked a ton. I've seen so many things that I can't wrap my head around it all. And I can't believe I'm going to be able to do it again for a second day. After that, and saying hi to some of the other team members that were awake, and then Kelsey and Rickard, who also woke up, we made our way over to the convention center to get prepped for our panel. It was a really nice spot at Creator Labs. they had two little theaters, or a couple little theaters. And so we made our way over there and just kind of chatted amongst each other until we were ready to sit down and actually give the panel. I think personally, the panel went really well. I'm very surprised with how I did. I feel like I did pretty decently for my first time public speaking, especially on a panel at a giant trade show. I think it really helped that everybody else was so professional and really easy to be around. It kind of calmed my nerves a lot. And Shira did an absolutely fantastic job of leading the entire panel. It wouldn't have happened without her. Rickard and Kelsey had another little demonstration right after that, which I got to sit in on, and it was very informative about some of the new features in Premiere. It's incredible what kind of advancements every single editing software, and honestly software in general, is making, like even LucidLink. Once they finished their demo, we kind of just walked around the rest of South Hall again before we went back to the LucidLink booth, gave some interviews for some social media things, and honestly just kind of hung out for the rest of the time. We walked to a couple different places to say hi to a few new people, a few of Kelsey's connections, a few people that Rickard knew. We even saw Corridor Digital, which was crazy. They were giving a demonstration with Puget Systems, which is like a computer company, I believe. I probably should know this a little better, I'm sorry, but it was really cool. They were showing Comfy UI, which is an image generation AI, basically, that he trained to go from image to video. It was super cool to meet those guys. They're so down to earth. Like, they're exactly how you see them on screen. I had been watching them way before I even started YouTube. Huge inspirations to me. They always made some crazy stuff and continue to make some crazy stuff. Even some of their unreleased things right now. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. Just wait. And that's not the only YouTuber I got to meet either. I got to meet Jamie Fenn. He does a lot of DaVinci tutorials and has taught me a lot of cool effects to do in the Fusion page. So I then went back to the LucidLink booth to have a final happy hour and hurrah with the wonderful people there before we headed back to the hotel and just hung out until I needed to take the Uber back to the airport for my red-eye flight, which thankfully I don't remember most of because I was asleep for it. Got back at 5 a.m. and worked the next day. Honestly, NAB, what a blur. I can't wait for next year. It's kind of ironic that I was able to go this year. I made a promise to myself last year that I would be going this year, and I guess I must have manifested that because I actually ended up going. Thank you so much, LucidLink, for the video challenge. Thank you so much, Zach and Gabby, for showing me this video challenge. I'm very grateful for everybody. Thank you, SoCal, for letting me do this. LucidLink for having me out there, being like a second family. I can't believe this happened. Till next year. If you guys enjoyed this video and maybe even learned something from it, you know what to do. Smash the things, click the links, share it, whatever you need to do. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Yeah, dude, I can't believe it actually happened. That's insane. All right, let's stop recording.